Hey,
What's up?
I'm done messing around. Let's do this.
All right. Yeah, let's do this. Dude, what? That's not fair.
Fair? This is about the playoffs.
You guys really need to work on that.
We know.
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That is not a dub. And this is one of those really fun ones. Fun's probably not a great word for this. That is just devastating for so many reasons. We knew the math wasn't great, and this does not finish our season. I've seen some terrible takes tonight about the team and everything. Like, I don't mean, we should be sellers at the deadline. Like, yeah, that's a totally normal take at this portion of the season. I get that. I don't think it's a bad take. I don't think it's a great take. It's just a take, right? Nothing wrong with that. You can't be a trade Pasternak guy right now. Like, come on. Do you see what this guy is doing? Yes. He had a turnover at the end of the game when they were trying to force a play to the middle to just get anything on net with 14 seconds left as they tried to get one last goal. Like, I get that. And the power play sucks, and I get that. But the guy's on a 11-game point streak, 12-game point streak, something like that, on one of the worst offenses in the league, statistically and by money spent. The dude's going nuclear just to keep us in the race, which, depending on your mindset, might be a bad thing, but you can't be a trade Pasternak guy right now. That's not fair. That's not fair. You can be pretty much a trade anybody else guy, though. It sucks. This sucks. You have a lead going into the third. You need to win way more games than you lose right now. Going into this one, the 17-8-3 record is kind of where you're at, where you need to get that 95 points. So going into the third with a lead, even if it's just one goal, and losing that game, brutal. Using one of those 8 regulation losses. Losing it in regulation, brutal. A shorthanded goal being the game-winning goal, brutal. On the road, where you've been absolutely terrible and you go into the third period with a lead, and you still lose that game. You need these road wins. Terrible, awful, just feels horrendous. Thank you for that. Thank you for allowing me to get that out. It doesn't sink the season. All's not lost. The team has sort of been playing better. It has been playing better through pockets. It's just, there's so much bizarre inconsistency with this team. I do believe if Swayman's in net, we probably win that just with the way Swayman had been playing. Or really, maybe that's super recency bias because last game he was so brilliant. But he's had a lot of really great games lately. He's had a couple stinkers in there. And I don't want to blame Korpisalo because really Korpisalo's not to blame. He's not. He didn't look great on some of these. But I don't know. He's a backup goaltender. Like, what are my expectations for the guy? Expectations is give your team a chance to win. He absolutely did that. And the team in front of him, they really let this one go. Oh, this one hurts. Thank you, all of you, for being present and liking, commenting, and subscribing. Nailed it. Thank you to the high-quality inspectors. Seriously, I so much appreciate you guys. But thank you for being here to allow me to vent this, because I'm going to feel better once it's all done, because this one sucks, dude. It sucks. I'm okay being a little whiny tonight. I'm okay with it. I'm sleep-deprived. It's a back-to-back. It's 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night, and work has been killing me lately, but for positive reasons. So thank you, all of you. I appreciate you. Let's talk a little bit about this Rangers team. Now, we, of course, just talked about them a few days ago because we played them on Saturday, and they kind of folded. We had a significant 6-3 win that saw them fall deeper away from the wild card spot. They got their revenge tonight. They responded with an impressive win over an excellent Vegas team on the second night of that back-to-back, so good job by them. And then over the weekend, we did speak about their top 5 offense, top 10 power play, middling defense, and penalty kills since the new year began. This is not an easy win, nor should it be considered one, right? That's just not what this is. But the problem is, it feels like it should be, based off how bad they looked defensively last game. They refused to take care of the middle of the ice and had breakdowns frequently throughout the game in the most dangerous areas of the ice. They created some nice chances the other way, but for the most part, Shesterkin could not save them from their own poor defensive lapses. And they did it again this game. I mean, I can't tell you how many moments is a guy wide open in the slot and the pass sucked, or they couldn't handle it and they just flubbed the shot, or they just opted not to pass to the guy at all. I mean, I am flabbergasted by how bad this Rangers team takes care of the center of their own ice. And the Bruins, who capitalized over and over and over again less than a week ago on this exact thing, just abandoned it, went away from it. And yes, I thought the Rangers played better defensively in this game than in that game, but it does not change the fact that we did not take advantage of clear, obvious weaknesses available to us. We just didn't. And the goals that we did get, one of them, absolutely hockey goal, great. Another one, it was a little lucky. That's fine. You can take the bounces. God knows we've had enough bounces against us this season. But we scored one legitimate goal. They're both legitimate goals. But you know what I'm getting at here? You had so much opportunity to create real scoring chances. And some of them you did and just missed high and wide over and over again. And you just couldn't capitalize on any of them. It was a night that you didn't really have it. And you went into third with a lead. And you lost in regulation on a shorthanded goal. Pain. Okay, all right, we're done being whiny. We're done being whiny. I'm allowed to be a little whiny sometimes. The season's not over. There's plenty of hockey left. This team needs to play with more urgency because there's not that much hockey left. The Bruins, the lineups will be Marchand, Lindholm, Coyle, Geeky, Zacha, Pasternak, Frederic, Patra, Brazeau, Kepke, Beecher, Kostelik, Lohrei, Mack, Zadorov, Peak, Callahan, Carlo, and then Korpisalo in net. Hampus Lindholm, of course, still out with a lower body injury. Kepke is back in the lineup. Wallstrom's moved out. Now, I thought this is interesting because I have not been enjoying Wallstrom's play. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a big brain being like, how dare you move him out for putting Brazeau up and getting Kepke in there? Well, the bottom six got caved the whole game. And the Frederic Patra Wallstrom line had been our best 5-on-5 line when it comes to scoring chances created over the past couple of games. They're not finishing a lot of them, so I get you there, and getting Brazeau in so that he can be that net front presence is not a bad idea. I don't want to crush Sacco for this, because I don't think it's moronic. I see the logic there. It backfired hard. Patra, although the advanced analytics will be all over the place with him, the hockey stat cards that you see on Twitter, although I think are fun, I don't love the way that they kind of do their statistics and show the bars and what they base those bars on, because they heavily favor certain things that don't always take into account the whole game. But hockey analytics is like that right now. It's not specific enough, and I hope it never gets there, because if everything just turns into a data sheet that we can actually predict the future off of, that's not going to be fun anymore. But although the numbers for like hockey stat cards won't show in favor to Patra, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he created so much for his line mates, and his line mates, Frederic went right back to being a complete black hole with the puck. And Brazeau really, really struggled. But, Brazeau has good games and bad games. I don't know. He was never really able to get to a spot. I'm doing too much explanation without actually getting into the game. But let's talk about this game a little bit. Puck drops! And 41 seconds in, Lindgren is going to go for tripping. We're going to the power play. It's awful. 0 shots on net, 0 shot attempts, and I regret saying anything nice about the power play last game, because even though it went 0 for 3, I believe, it looked better. Well, it was an absolute embarrassment in this one, and I cannot believe the power play has been this bad for over a year now. Well into last season. It's been... You have David Pasternak. How is your power play that bad? And I don't even mean, like, why isn't Pasternak scoring more? I mean, he opens up so much ice for the rest of the players. It's a 4v3 everywhere else. How are we so bad at this? How are we so bad at this? I don't know. Let's keep moving. 9:06. Oh, obviously we don't score it. 9:06 left of the period. The Bruins win their first face-off of the game. That's right. We're 1 for 11 so far. I love to see it. 7:22 left of the first period. The Bruins do something for the first time this game. Quickly guess. You got it right. You knew it. Of course you knew it, because it's the same thing we typically do at the beginning of the game. We have our first shot on goal with 7:22 left of the first period. Now, to be fair, we'd only allowed 4 at this point to the Rangers. It was just that kind of game. So I don't like that statistic, but people will just take that and take it out of the vacuum that it was in, or put it in a vacuum. Put it in a vacuum. When, grand scheme of things, the neutral zone was clogged. This was real tough hockey to get through any space. Both teams were determined in that nature, because I think the Rangers were not excited about defending in their own zone, so they knew they had to clog the neutral zone. That is one way to minimize those chances against. And the Bruins are really bad at passing, but our defensive structure is good. So that kind of just results in neither team being able to shoot the puck. At the end of the first, shots are 8-4 in favor of the Rangers, of course. Not a great first. Second period starts. 6:07 in. Carlo chasing a dump in with Miller on his back. He smacks this up the boards, and it's just a pass to Zibanejad. It's not even like a hard wraparound or anything. Just boop, and it goes about 12 feet to Zibanejad, who has no problem. If you're going to do this, at least make sure that they can't just easily swoop it and move it. Make them have to settle the puck or something. Nope, he just collects, chucks it to Panarin, who's in that right circle, and hammers this low blocker. It's 1-0. Carlo's struggles have been well documented this season. I am not done with Carlo as a hockey player. I just can't imagine that all of a sudden this guy cannot operate at a high level. But this season is starting to feel like a lost season for him. I mean, we're a lot of games in, 56, I believe. This is really tough for him. And I'm bummed, because I love Carlo. I'm a Carlo defender. I love a good defensive defenseman. And I think they get very little credit and a lot of blame. This has been a really tough season for him. And it's a real bummer. But I love Carlo. And I'm just going to make that stance right now. I do not want them to sell him at the deadline. But I am getting worried that his game is not going to recover this season. I think next season I'm very much expecting him to go right back to form. Is that optimistic? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I be? I love Carlo. Anyway, we're going to move on. 7:36 in. Geeky is going to go for tripping. So we allow the first goal, and then a minute and a half later, we go to the penalty kill. This is tough. This is a pivotal moment. We need a great penalty kill, and we get one. Unfortunately, about 4 minutes later, 8:59 left, Peak is going to go for high sticking. So, again, really need a great penalty kill here. And we get one. Penalty kill did a really solid job. We are going to have a little bit of trouble here. 6:30 left. Rempe is going to get a breakaway after a bad turnover by Patra as he tries to collect a pass and doesn't have his head up on the opposing blue line. They get to punch it away from him, and it's just a break the other way. Korpisalo with a huge blocker save to keep it at 1-0. And then, less than 2 minutes later, 4:57 left, Zacha wins a faceoff in the offensive zone directly back to McAvoy, who fires this high and wide from the top of the slot. It bounces off the back wall to Zacha, who tries to feed Pasta in that right circle. The initial chance is blocked down, but Pasta recovers it, flings it at the net through a forest of legs, and ends up beating Shesterkin glove side. And it's 1-1. That's huge. Everyone breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, we're defending this team really well. We just need another bounce. Didn't expect it to come this soon. 16 seconds later, Marchand wins a race to a puck down the left wall. He is going to fling this to Zadorov up at the left point. His shot gets deflected to the right corner. Marchand again is first guy there, chasing it all the way across the ice. He is then going to possess this into the top of the far circle. Lindholm is going to come counter around him. It's a little touch pass over to Lindholm, who's just going to fire this on net. It's a universal truth. Pucks to the net, good things will happen. It deflects off Adam Fox's leg and somehow gets past Shesterkin glove side, and it's 2-1, 16 seconds apart. You feel great. You feel great. A little bit of puck luck. We love a little bit of puck luck. And we're potentially going to take a lead into the third period with 47 seconds left of the second period. Trocheck goes for interference. What an opportunity this would be. The power play sucks. And we're going to go to the third period with a minute 13 still on the power play, and the power play still sucks. I know you're surprised. To be fair, I didn't put it sucks in the notes. I put it's so bad, dude. It's so bad, dude. 3:25 in. Marchand makes contact with Shesterkin on a net front drive. He gets absolutely jumped after the contact, deservingly so, because he made contact with their star goaltender. Of course, you expect to get jumped by the players. Totally understand that. Marchand's going to go for roughing on the goaltender, basically goaltender interference. We're going to the penalty kill. Now, there's going to be a lot of opinions about this. Do I think it was a soft call? Yes. Do I think it was kind of ridiculous that they didn't even the play up because of the way Marchand got jumped and he had his helmet ripped off? Yeah. All that being said, if I take my Bruins bias out of this, and we know Marchand is who he is, Marchand does get into the blue paint by his own volition. I didn't feel like he was shoved into Shesterkin. He does try to leap, sort of, out of the way of Shesty, but makes contact directly with him, including his head, which his head snaps back in a dramatic fashion. Yes, it's oversold, all of that. Look, Marchand's been in the league for a long time, and a lot of you have watched hockey for a long time. I understand that you don't like the call, but I kind of get the call, and I'm more upset at Marchand here. I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with that. That's fine. Opinions in sports. But I'm kind of frustrated with Marchand here. You went for the net drive. You decided to not keep to the outside. You went straight at the goaltender. You made contact with him. That's going to get called a lot, man. That's going to get called a lot. And you're in the third period up 1. You're the captain, man. Like, think. I don't know. I didn't like it from Marchand's perspective. Can I absolutely see the argument and frustration from Bruins fans and from Marchand and the players on the bench? Absolutely. I'm just not shocked it was called. Makes a lot of sense to me that it was called in this kind of moment of the game. Marchand's been around for a long time. He knows that's getting called. I don't know, man. I think I'm more upset that they didn't even it out with what happened after than I am that the initial call was made. And I know there's going to be a lot of differing opinions about that. That's just where I stand on it. As the penalty expires, we technically kill it. But Trocheck at the net front is able to tip an intentionally wide shot from Keandre Miller at the top of the slot, and it's 2-2. So the shot's taken from the top of the slot. Trocheck he got lost behind the coverage, comes back around past the goal line, and just lays a stick out there for intentionally wide, gets a tip it past Korpisalo, no chance for him, 2-2. Not a power play goal, but basically a power play goal. And it's frustrating, but you don't feel like the game's over, and you know you're going to get some more chances because that's what the Rangers have been giving you. You just haven't been taking advantage of them. And even better, 9:58 left, Rempe is going to go for holding, and we're going to the power play. We expected a bad power play. How many times have we allowed shorthanded goals this season? It's got to be too many. I can guarantee that. 8 seconds left of the power play. Patra sets up Geekie. Tape to tape. He sets up Geekie, who's just on the right side of the slot, kind of in that right circle. And Geekie just fans on it, flubs it a little bit, turns it over, and Panarin gets to go one-on-one with McAvoy. And off to the races, and McAvoy's in front of him. Panarin goes wide right, and McAvoy's with him. And Kreider outskates 3 Bruins backcheckers. I know that one was Pastrnak. I know that one was Patra. I didn't see who the third one was, but Pasta and Patra were the closest ones. They're tired, I guess, but Kreider just turns it on, and it turns into a 2v1. And McAvoy breaks up the pass. He makes contact with it. The puck gets over to Kreider still. Kreider takes it off the side, the outside of his skate, able to settle. Korpisalo's timing is thrown off because he expected that pass to get through. And so he's already down, and Kreider gets to shoot this from a sharp angle. It's 3-2 shorthanded goal. That's your game winner. Devastating. Brutal. Awful. It hurts, man. That one hurts. That hurts. Oh, you hate to see it. Hate to see it. And it's huge for the Rangers, who have a few games on hand, but they're still in the mix. And they're trying to get their way back into it because they've considered themselves buyers. That's likely what they're going to be doing. Scary, man. Scary, scary. Game notes. The new math. 16, 7, and 3. It really hurts to use one of those 8 regulation losses we talked about. on this game. But 16-7-3 is our path to 95 points, which the field is getting more and more jumbled, and it looks like 95 points might not get it done, but we will see. We will see. Detroit's red hot right now. Ottawa's been playing well. Obviously, Tampa with a ton of games on hand is tied with us. Like, they're going to be fine. It's tough. The math is tough, but it's not over. It's not over yet. Another game note that's not a game note. They interviewed Sweeney at the beginning of the second period, and what gutless, pathetic, awful journalism was this? This is actually where I dislike ex-players and things of that nature being part of this, because they kind of suck at this job, right? Some of them don't, but they kind of suck at this job, which is, this is just an old boys club where they talked to Sweeney. They asked one question about the trade deadline. I think it was like 9 questions. I think Ty Anderson pointed that out. One about the trade deadline, which is what everyone's really curious about. They're talking about the four nations face-offs. Fine. Don't worry. We're getting bombarded with that stuff, which we're all very excited about, but I'm more interested in what Sweeney's thinking about this Bruins team. And Sweeney deflects it, and he's like, well, Hampus has been out, so you got to take that into consideration. Okay, dude. And then he's like, well, we might have to go a different direction, which is basically him saying we're potentially selling. And just gutless. I hate it. Ask a difficult question to answer. Pursue an answer that you didn't feel like you got anything out of. Sweeney never takes his media availability anyway. It's not like you're worried about upsetting him and he's not going to come back. We won't hear from him till July. Like, go for the throat, man. Ugh, that really bummed me out. Let's go back to the game. The power play. The power play has been awful for over a year. How many times this season have we looked at a game and said, the power play basically lost us 2 points in the standings? How many times? Because I bet it's more than 5, more than 6. I mean, think about that. If this team had a, I don't know, below league average, but not awful, like an 18th or 19th ranked power play, are we comfortably in a playoff spot? Because I would argue, yeah, probably. If we're not giving up shorthanded goals at a frequent pace. The power play has been such a problem and has gone unfixed. And I don't understand how you can have a weapon like Pasternak and cannot create a winning scenario with your other players. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Ugh, gross. This is so sad. I mean, again, the season's not over. Like, we got plenty. We've got some time left. It's got to be effort here, but this one just hurts. This one hurts. And the power play, I'm just so mad at. I can't believe it's still this bad. I genuinely, the X's and O's suck. They force plays. It's like they don't watch their own tape. They don't close the defense. They don't do anything. And when they do get themselves in a prime scoring chance, they flub it. Geeky has gone so cold. Oh, that was fun while it lasted, though. The last game note I had is just really wanted this one, man. The road games have not been kind to us, and you had a lead. This one was winnable. Tough to use one of those 8 regulation losses on this in my math situation. I know that's not the end-all be-all, but we'll be okay. We're going to be okay. This does muddy the waters a little bit, because had you won this game and had a good showing over the weekend, then all of a sudden this turns into a much different trade deadline after the 4 nations. There's a lot different conversations happening, which, again, depending on which side of the fence you're leaning, is good or bad. So, really interesting path going forward, and I really do love this team. Really frustrated by some of it, and it's one of the less likable versions of the Bruins. But also you get games like the Minnesota one, which is just, there are certain players that you just love on this team. You really do. And it does give you a lot of opportunity to root for the small guy. The guys that, like, let's be honest, probably wouldn't be in the lineup on another NHL team farther down the forward lines. So you get to root those guys on. It does suck that the fourth line's been so unbelievably unplayable lately that it's hard to do the whole, like, rah-rah, Kepke. It's not good. Beecher's had really, really bad struggles. Yeah. I think that's actually really hurting a lot of the fan base, because a lot of fan base loves to root for a fourth line guy. They just love to have that guy. Your Corrales, you know? But they just, this team doesn't really have it. They have Kostelic, I guess, which he still is pushing pace and trying to be physical. I think he's still hampering something. Like that injury, I don't think has gone away fully. I'm getting too rambly here about random stuff. But I love this team. This one's just a huge bummer. And I'm sorry if I'm a little bummed out on this one. This one hurt. This one really hurt. Dang. Go Bees. Go Bees! And now it's time to say thank you to the high-quality inspectors. I appreciate each and every one of you. There's over 100 of you at this point. And I love doing these thank yous at the end, but I think we're reaching such a volume that I have to rethink this strategy because you're all so incredible and so supportive. But this is getting really long, and there's got to be a better way, right? But let's start the thank yous, of course, with the top line tier. Dampen, Chris and Erica, Negev79, Trial Exotic, Jeff McGugan, Quackin' Platypus, Andrew Peterson, Sean Kreider, JM, Zenin Noel DeGuy, Donald Shelton, Kevin Timperley, Anakin Palpatine, The Rat 63, Lola Cattingsworth, EKM Productions, Moonlighter TV, Big Bad Bruin, The Bugman, Adam Ella, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, Roland 22, GD Viperworks, Len Cruz, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. You're absolute legends of this channel, and you're very appreciated. And now, of course, to our all-star tier members. Lorenzo Wood, Jake Brower, Penny Pasta, Levi Catalani, Boston Stringler, Bagel, JG's 12, Mark S., Jacob Pratt, Nightmare Eco, John Kirk, Ann Hustis, Joel, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tupton D. Tashi, Bruin Smash, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. Absolute stallions, every single one. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being a part of the channel. I cannot express my gratitude. Go Bees.